The September sun still had a bite to it, casting a brilliant, hard-edged rectangle across my desk through the classroom window. I just finished grading a stack of essays on The Great Gatsby, and my neck was screaming. I was about to get up for some water when a head peeked around the doorframe. It was one of my 8th graders, Lily Miller, wearing a grin that was less mysterious and more conspiratorial. "Mr. Evans, you busy?" I sank back into my chair and picked up my red pen, pretending to be absorbed in a paper. "Spit it out, Miller. What do you want? I might let you off the hook for that makeup quiz, but you still owe me that extra credit worksheet you promised." Lily slithered into the room like an eel and sidled up to my desk. "Come on, Mr. Evans. Do I look like the kind of person who goes back on her word? You'll have the worksheet tomorrow. Promise. I'm here today because I have amazing news for you. Life-changing news." I didn't even look up. What kind of life-changing news could you possibly have? Did you find my misplaced 401k password? A million times better than that. Lily lowered her voice dramatically. "Mr. Evans, you're still single, right?" My pen froze mid-correction. Was this what middle school had come to? A full-scale inquisition into the teaching staff's private lives? I clear my throat. "Lily, I think you should focus on your grades, not on my personal life." "Oh, don't change the subject." Her eyes were practically sparkling. "Listen, my actual aunt, she's single too. And she's gorgeous, super nice, and a big-shot designer. What do you think?" Your interest piqued. I almost choked. I looked up at this kid, who was beaming with the excitement of someone trying to sell me a rare Funko Pop. "Lily, you're 13. Isn't it a little early to be starting a matchmaking service?" "I'm just looking out for the happiness of my elders," she declared, as if she were arguing a case before the Supreme Court. "My Aunt Chloe is the best. She just has high standards and works a lot. So, she hasn't found the right person. And I think you're a pretty cool guy, Mr. Evans. You make English class fun, and you're not all stuffy like some of the other teachers. It's a win-win." I couldn't help but laugh at her twisted logic. "A win-win, huh? Does your aunt know you're trying to pawn her off like this?" "Not yet," Lily said with a wave of her hand. "But if you say yes, I'll set it all up. You guys can exchange numbers, text a little, and if the vibe is right, you can meet up. If not, no big deal. You made a new friend." I rubbed my temples. The whole thing felt completely absurd, getting set up by one of my own students. With her aunt. The family tree on that was just messy. "Please, Mr. Evans." Lily clasped her hands together, her eyes wide. "My aunt is really, really great. If you agree, I swear I'll pay attention in every single one of your classes. I'll be the first to turn in my homework, and I'll shoot for an A on the next exam." Looking at her, so determined and sincere, I felt a strange mix of annoyance and amusement. I wasn't opposed to dating. I just hadn't had many opportunities to meet anyone since I started teaching. A student's aunt. It sounded weird, but then again, what if? I let out a long sigh. "First, turn in that worksheet you owe me." "So that's a maybe," she squealed, nearly jumping out of her shoes. "I'll have it on your desk tomorrow morning. What's your number?" "I'll send her your contact info." Defeated, I recited my cell number. Lily scribbled it on the back of her hand like it was a sacred text, then darted out of the room, leaving me staring into the afternoon sun, wondering what I'd just gotten myself into. That night, after a shower, I picked up my phone and saw a new friend request on WhatsApp. The profile picture was a cool, abstract graphic. The name was just one word, Chloe. I hesitated for a second, then tapped accept. A message appeared almost immediately. "Hi, this is Chloe Shun. I hope Lily didn't cause you too much trouble." I typed back. "Not all. Lily's a great kid. I'm Cole Evans." "I know," Lily told me. Her brilliant English teacher. Young, successful, a ray all catch. I stared at the screen, a little embarrassed. How was I supposed to respond to that? Lily exaggerates. "I'm just a regular teacher." A smiling emoji popped up. "You're too modest." Lily rarely praises anyone that much. We exchanged a few more lukewarm messages, mostly about Lily's performance in class. Chloe's texts were measured, polite, and a little distant. Nothing like the vibrant personality Lily had described. This is what happens, I thought, with these 4 setups. The beginning is always an awkward dance. I was trying to think of an excuse to end the conversation when another message came through. Lily can be a bit impulsive. "I hope you won't take anything she said too seriously." I replied, "Of course not." She meant well. "Good. Well, it's getting late. I won't keep you. Okay, good night." "Good night." The conversation died. I put down my phone, feeling nothing. It seemed she was just being polite, humoring her niece. I shook my head and put the whole bizarre episode out of my mind. For the next few days, Lily was true to her word. Her homework was turning on time. She sat in class with her eyes wide open and even raised her hand to answer questions. It was so out of character, it was almost unnerving. During a break between classes, she cornered me again. "So, Mr. Evans, how's it going? How's what going? My aunt, how are the chats going?" We exchanged hellos, I said, downplaying it. And Lily pressed. "That's it? You didn't set up a time to meet for coffee or something? What are you going to accomplish over text?" I gently tapped her on the head. "You're awfully invested in this for someone your age. We adults have our own pace." "Pace? You mean snail's pace," she grumbled. I asked my aunt about it, and all she said was, "You seem like a nice person." That's classic polite speak for me. "No, I have to give you two a push." A sense of dread washed over me. "Lily, don't you dare do anything." I won't, she said with a mischievous grin. "This weekend, my aunt is taking me to an art exhibit. Mr. Evans, you should come too. Think of it as an extracurricular field trip to soak up some culture." My immediate instinct was to refuse. Chloe and I had only exchanged a handful of bland texts. Meeting in person would be monumentally awkward. "Come on, please, Mr. Evans," Lily pleaded. "I already told my aunt you might be interested in the exhibit. If you don't show up, I'll look like a total flake." "When did you tell her that?" I asked, my head starting to ache. "Just now, during the break." "Sent her a text," she said, as if it were the most logical thing in the world. I was completely outmaneuvered. This kid had me boxed in. On Saturday morning, I stood in front of the Denver Art Museum, watching the crowds ebb and flow and seriously questioning my sanity. I'd worn a simple light blue button-down and chinos, a step up from my usual teaching attire, but I still felt like a complete square among the artsy, fashion-forward crowd. After about 10 minutes, I saw Lily bouncing toward me, a tall figure walking gracefully beside her. That had to be Chloe. She wore a cream-colored linen dress with a light green cardigan, her long hair loosely pinned up, revealing the elegant curve of her neck. Her makeup was subtle, highlighting sharp, bright features. She was even more beautiful than the slightly blurry photo on Lily's phone, with a quiet, self-contained aura that felt a little intimidating. "Aunt Chloe, this is our Mr. Evans." "Mr. Evans, this is my Aunt Chloe," Lily announced, beaming. Chloe offered a small smile and extended her hand. "Mr. Evans, nice to see you again." I took her hand, confused. "Again? Have we met before?" A hint of amusement played on her lips. "You have a short memory. Last Wednesday afternoon, outside the school, Lily forgot her math homework, and you brought out to her. I was in the car waiting. I dredged my memory, and, sure enough, a vague recollection surfaced. I had brought something out to Lily. There had been a car parked at the curb, but I hadn't paid any attention to who was inside. So I'd been scouted. I felt a flush of embarrassment. "Sorry, I didn't notice." "It's fine." Chloe withdrew her hand. "Lily's caused you enough trouble, and now she's dragged you all the way out here." "It's no trouble. I'm also very interested in art," I said, the lie feeling flimsy on my tongue. Lily snickered beside me. Okay, enough with the formalities. Let's go inside. It's supposed to be really cool." The exhibit's theme was future symbiosis, mostly tech-infused, imaginative installation pieces. I didn't know much about this stuff, so I mostly just followed along. Chloe, on the other hand, was completely engaged, sometimes stopping for long moments in front of a piece. Lily acted as our hyperactive tour guide, zipping from one display to the next, clearly trying to manufacture moments for Chloe and me to talk alone. But our conversation remained stubbornly superficial. "The use of color in this piece is really bold," I offered, trying to sound intelligent. The artist is trying to express anxiety in an age of information overload," Chloe replied. "The material of that sculpture is unusual. It's a new composite meant to mimic the feeling of cell division." I felt like I was taking an oral exam for an art history class. I glanced at Chloe. Her profile was soft as she studied a piece, but there was an invisible barrier around her. It was clear this woman had little interest in the blind date her niece had forced upon her. A strange sense of relief washed over me. If she wasn't into it, then the pressure was off. I could just relax and treat this as a chaperone duty. After the exhibit, Lily declared she was starving. We found a nice-looking bistro nearby. After we ordered, Lily's eyes darted around. Oh shoot, I think I left my student ID back in that last gallery. I have to go find it. You guys go ahead and eat, don't wait for me. Before either of us could react, she was gone. The atmosphere at the small table instantly shifted. Chloe and I made eye contact, and I saw a reflection of my own resigned amusement in her eyes. That niece of yours, I started, is a force of nature, Chloe finished, her tone a mix of fond exasperation. She's been like that since she was little, always scheming. I'm so sorry, Cole. She really put you on the spot today. It's fine, I smiled. Might as well roll with it. The waiter brought our drinks and appetizers. Chloe took a sip of her lemonade, seeming to relax a little. She looked at me. So, what do you do when you're not molding the minds of America's youth? Read, watch movies, go for a run sometimes. Pretty standard stuff, I answered. Nothing as creative as what you do. Chloe shook her head. Work is just work. My personal life is actually pretty boring. I'm a homebody. I like to read, listen to music, or just zone out. That surprised me. I'd always pictured people in creative fields living these vibrant, exciting lives. We started talking about books and movies and discovered our tastes were surprisingly aligned. We both loved obscure indie films, the early novels of Kigo Higashino, and had a shared interest in historical documentaries. The stiffness between us started to melt away. You don't seem like an English teacher, Chloe said suddenly. Oh, what do I seem like? Like an engineer or something, she smiled. You're very logical, not very poetic. I laughed. I almost majored in physics in college, but somewhere along the line, I decided teaching was more my speed. Just then, Lily came dashing back to the table, waving her ID card. Found it. False alarm. She glanced between me and Chloe, saw the more relaxed atmosphere, and a satisfied little smile spread across her face. After we ate, Lily suggested a movie, a motion that Chloe and I shot down in unison. It's getting late, and you have school tomorrow, Chloe said, pulling the aunt card. And I have to prep for class, I added, playing the teacher card. Lily pouted. Fine, fine. Well, Mr. Evans, you can walk my aunt home. She doesn't live far from here. I looked at Chloe. She seemed about to refuse, but Lily was giving her a desperate look from the side. If you don't mind, Chloe finally nodded. On the way, we walked side by side. A cool evening breeze drifted through the streets. Thank you for today, Chloe said, her voice softer in the darkness. For putting up with Lily's shenanigans. She's a fun kid, I said. And honestly, the exhibit was pretty cool. I learned a few things. Chloe turned her head to look at me. Did you really think the color in that anxiety sculpture was bold? I froze, then broke into a grin. You saw right through me. I had no idea what I was talking about. Chloe laughed, a genuine, lovely sound. I know. Your eyes were completely glazed over. Now I was really embarrassed. It's okay, though, she continued. Just the fact that you stayed for the whole thing is impressive. My brother and sister-in-law never have the patience. When we reached her apartment building, I stopped at the entrance. Well, this is you. Chloe nodded. Thanks. Get home safe. I watched her disappear into the lobby before turning to leave. After a few steps, I couldn't resist looking back. A light came on in one of the windows above. Maybe this unexpected field trip wasn't so bad after all. After the museum trip, my WhatsApp conversations with Chloe were no longer just about Lily. Sometimes we talk about a movie we'd both recently seen, or share a song, or just complain about a frustrating day at work. The dialogue became more natural, the frequency quietly ticking up. I discovered that Chloe wasn't as coolly reserved as I first thought. She was slow to warm up, but once she did, she had a dry wit and a talent for deadpan humor. Once, after a particularly grueling day of grading, I texted her that I felt like my brain had been wiped clean by student spelling errors. She replied, "Need me to run data recovery? It'll cost you. One dinner." I smiled at my phone. Lily, ever observant, sensed the shift and became even more insufferable at school. See, Mr. Evans? I told you so. Isn't my aunt the absolute best? I put on my stern teacher face. Is your essay done? Did you memorize the poem for Friday's quiz? That always shut her up. That Friday, right after the last bell, I got a text from Chloe. Are you free tonight? Time to cash in on that data recovery dinner. A little spark went off in my chest. I'm free. 7 o'clock. That bistro we went to? See you there. I put my phone down and checked my reflection in the dark screen of my computer monitor, smoothing down my hair. My office mate, Dave, glanced over. Looking sharp, Cole. Big day tonight. I clear my throat. No, just dinner with a friend. When I got to the bistro, Chloe was already there. She was dressed casually in jeans and a white t-shirt under a plaid flannel, her hair in a ponytail. She looked younger, more like a college student. After we ordered, she pulled a small box from her tote bag and slid it across the table. Here, your data recovery tool. I opened it. Inside was a beautifully designed fountain pen. The barrel was a deep blue, flecked with fine glitter, like a night sky. What's this? A thank you gift, she said, stirring her iced tea, for putting up with Lily last weekend, and for not thinking she's a total menace. I picked up the pen. It had a satisfying weight in my hand. This is too much. It's not. It's a prototype I designed, had a friend's factory make a sample. Her tone was light. Think of yourself as a beta tester. I'll expect a full report on the user experience. I couldn't help but smile. You got it. I'll write a thorough review. Dinner was easy. We talked about college, about the funny and frustrating parts of our jobs. I learned that Chloe was fiercely dedicated to her work, capable of pulling all-nighters over a single design detail. And she learned that I didn't become a teacher just for the job security. I genuinely loved connecting with the students, the process of sharing knowledge. After dinner, we walked. The city was alive with lights and traffic. While waiting at a crosswalk, an electric scooter shot past a little too close. On instinct, I grabbed Chloe's arm and pulled her closer to me. Watch it. The scooter zipped away, and I realized I was still holding her arm. Her skin was cool beneath my fingers. I let go like I'd been burned. Sorry. Chloe looked down, and I thought I saw a hint of pink on her cheeks. It's okay. The light changed. We crossed the street in a sudden, charged silence. So, I started clearing my throat. There's a new movie coming out next weekend. Supposed to be really good. I was wondering if you'd be interested. Chloe looked up, her eyes catching the neon glow from a nearby sign. What movie? I told her the title. I'd love to, she said, her answer quick and sure. The little knot of anxiety in my stomach finally unspooled, sending ripples of relief through me. Our first official date, movie, dinner, went so smoothly it felt almost surreal. There seemed to be a natural rhythm between us. The conversation never lagged, and even the silences were comfortable. I could feel Chloe relaxing around me, letting her guard down, sometimes revealing a slightly childish side. During a sad part of the movie, she'd sniffle quietly, then pretend it was just the theater's aggressive air conditioning. When she ate something she really loved, her eyes would narrow in a way that reminded me of Contented Cat. I found myself looking forward to her texts, to our weekend meetups. Lily, of course, was our #1 fan, constantly fishing for updates from both sides. Mr. Evans, my aunt said you picked a great restaurant yesterday. Aunt Chloe, Mr. Evans totally zoned out in class today. I bet he was thinking about you. Our relationship was simmering in a warm, unspoken understanding. But just as I was working up the courage to make it official, to ask her to be my girlfriend, an obstacle appeared. I was with Chloe at a home design expo when a man approached us in front of one of the displays. He was in his 30s, dressed in an expensive suit, a flashy watch on his wrist. His eyes lit up when he saw Chloe. Chloe, fancy seeing you here. The smile on Chloe's face vanished. Marcus. Hello. The man's gaze flickered to me, sizing me up. And who is this? A friend, Chloe said, her voice flat. I felt her tense up beside me. Marcus didn't seem to notice her coldness. It's been a while. What have you been up to? Have you thought any more about that collaboration I mentioned? We should grab a drink and talk. I'm sorry, Marcus. We have other plans today. Chloe cut in, her tone firm. And as for the collaboration, I already told your company I'm not interested. With that, she took my hand. Let's go. I let her lead me away, feeling the coolness of her palm. I glanced back. Marcus was still standing there, a scowl on his face. Once we were outside the convention center, Chloe let go of my hand and let out a long breath. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to ruin the mood. It's fine, I said, looking at her. That guy, a client, she said, rubbing her forehead. A persistent one. We worked on one project together, and ever since he's been trying to recruit me for his firm. I've turned him down multiple times, but he won't take no for an answer. I nodded and didn't press it. But I could see her mood had soured, and I had a feeling it was more than just an annoying client. A few days later, I was out with some colleagues, and one of them who knew the local business scene happened to mention the guy. Marcus Vance. Came from a wealthy family, ran his own design firm. Reputation wasn't great, especially when it came to women. Apparently, he was relentless, almost obsessive when he wanted someone. I heard he's chasing some well-known independent designer right now, my colleague said casually. Can't remember her name. I think it was Shun. A cold knot formed in my stomach. That night, as I was walking Chloe home, I stopped just short of her building. Chloe. Yeah. That guy. Marcus Vance. I paused. I heard he's pursuing you. She stopped, then gave a bitter laugh. You heard that too? Wow. He's really getting the word out. So, I looked at her. What do you think about it? Chloe met my eyes. Cole, do I look like the kind of person who would be interested in a guy like that? No. Exactly, she said, her voice firm. I have zero interest in him. Not then. Not now, not ever. He's just a problem I have to deal with at work. I looked into her clear eyes, and the uncertainty I'd been feeling evaporated. I nodded. Okay, I get it. I hesitated, then asked the question that had been sitting on my chest. So, what about me? What do you think about me? The streetlights cast a soft glow on her face. A slow smile spread across her lips. You. She drew out the word. You're a little dorky, and sometimes a bit of square. My heart sank, but she took a small step closer to me. You make me feel comfortable, safe. When I'm with you, I don't have to pretend or overthink things. And I think it a really good thing. My heart started beating again, faster this time. I could smell the faint, clean scent of her hair. So, are we? I felt my throat tighten. Chloe smiled and reached out, her fingers gently closing around mine. Dummy, do you even have to ask? I squeezed her hand, a wide grin breaking across my face. No, I guess not. After Chloe and I made it official, my life felt like it had been dipped in honey. Even the air seemed sweeter. We did all the normal couple things, dates, movies, long walks. We also did the wonderfully mundane things, like grocery shopping on a Sunday and cooking dinner in my small teacher's apartment, with Chloe at the stove and me as her clumsy sous chef. Her cooking was surprisingly amazing. I'd watch her moving around my kitchen and think, this is it. This is the kind of ordinary happiness I've been looking for. When Lily found out, she literally jumped for joy outside my classroom, stopping only when the vice principal shot her a stern look. Mr. Evans, what did I tell you? Isn't my Anna treasure? You better treat her right, or you'll have me to answer to. I had to laugh. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Matchmaker. But our peaceful routine didn't last long. Trouble came looking for us. First, Chloe's design studio lost 2 projects that had been all but finalized. The reasons given were vague. Then, at a major industry pitch, her proposal was inexplicably rejected in the final round, with the contract going to a much less experienced firm. At first, Chloe chalked it up to bad luck and the tough nature of the business. But then a friend in the industry discreetly warned her that someone was actively working against her, spreading rumors and telling potential clients not to hire her. The name that immediately came to mind was Marcus Vance. She called him, her voice tight with anger, and asked if he was behind it. Marcus just laughed on the other end. Chloe, you're hurting my feelings. It's a competitive world. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You can't just blame me. But if you'd be willing to have dinner, maybe I could ask around, see what's going on. She hung up on him, furious. She told me everything, and I felt a cold anger build inside me. I couldn't believe he would sink this low. Do you want me to? Don't get involved, she cut me off. This is my professional life. I can handle it. All he wants is for me to give in, and I refuse. But despite her brave face, the constant setbacks were taking a toll. She was losing weight, and there were dark circles under her eyes. It killed me to see her like this, to feel so helpless. All I could do was try to be a comfort, cooking for her, dragging her out for walks to clear her head. One day, my school held an anniversary celebration, inviting alumni and parents. As a representative for the younger faculty, I was scheduled to give a short speech. I never expected to see Marcus Vance there. He'd been invited as a successful alumnus and local entrepreneur. During a break, he found me backstage. Mr. Evans, a pleasure, he said, extending a hand with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. I shook it briefly. Mr. Vance, can I help you? Just saying hello. He looked me up and down, his tone dripping with condescension. I hear you and Chloe are together now. I have to say, I'm surprised. A woman as ambitious and proud as Chloe, ending up with a middle school teacher. I kept my face neutral. Professions don't define people. What matters is if two people are happy together. And Chloe and I are very happy. Happy, he sneered. What's your monthly salary, Mr. Evans? Can you even afford one of the handbags she likes? Do you have any idea what one of her designs sells for? You're not even in the same universe. I just looked at him, finding his performance pathetic. Mr. Vance, you don't get to define our universe. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to prepare for my speech. His face hardened. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. Don't push your luck, Evans. If you know what's good for you, you'll walk away from her. If you don't, I have ways of making sure you don't have a job to come back to at this school. Do you understand me? My own anger finally flared. I stood up straighter, looking down at him. Mr. Vance, this is a school, a place of education. I'd ask you to show some respect. As for Chloe and me, that's none of your business. And my job here isn't up to you. He started, clearly shocked that a teacher would dare stand up to him. Mr. Evans, you're on in 2 minutes, a student called from the doorway. Without another glance at Marcus, I straightened my tie and walked calmly toward the stage. Behind me, I could feel his furious gaze burning into my back. I didn't take Marcus's threats too seriously at first. My record was clean, and I trusted my principal to be a reasonable person. But I told Chloe what happened. She was livid. He came to your school? He threatened you? That psychopath. She paced back and forth in her living room. I'm going to go over there and give him a piece of my mind. I pulled her to a stop. Don't. That's exactly what he wants. He feeds on drama. The more you engage, the more he'll escalate. So what do we do? Just let him bully us. Her eyes were glistening with angry tears. This is all my fault. He's taking it out on you because of me. Don't be ridiculous, I said, guiding her to the sofa. We're a couple. We're a team. There's no fault. His tactics are pathetic. If we ignore him, he'll get bored and move on. But your job, it'll be fine. I squeezed her hand. My principal is a smart man, and I'm one of the best teachers here. He's not going to fire me over some baseless complaint from an outsider. I said it with more confidence than I felt, trying to keep her from worrying. But things escalated faster than we expected. A few days later, I was called into the principal's office. He looked grim. On his desk was a plain manila envelope. Cole, he said, pushing his glasses up his nose. We received an anonymous letter. It alleges an inappropriate relationship with a student's guardian, that it reflects poorly on the school. My stomach dropped. I picked up the envelope. Inside were several printed photos of Chloe and me, clearly taken by a telephoto lens, out shopping, at dinner. The angles were intentionally invasive, making our interactions look more intimate than they were. The letter accused me of using my position as a teacher to seduce a student's relative, calling my conduct unprofessional. This is absolute garbage, I said, my hands shaking slightly with rage. Principal Davis, Chloe is my girlfriend. We have a completely normal adult relationship. Yes, she's Lily Miller's aunt, but we met through Lily. There was no abuse of my position. These photos are a malicious invasion of privacy. I know you, Cole, the principal's side, but a complaint is a complaint, and this kind of thing, true or not, can be damaging to the school's reputation, and to yours. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. Sir, I give you my word on my career that my relationship with Chloe is entirely appropriate. If the school needs proof, I can ask Chloe and even Lily's parents to come in and speak with you. As for this letter, I trust the school will see it for what it is, a baseless attack. He was quiet for a moment. All right, I'll hold on to this for now. I won't report up the chain just yet. But you need to be careful, Cole. Keep a low profile. Don't give anyone any more ammunition. Thank you, sir. I left his office with a heavy heart. I couldn't believe Marcus would resort to something so vile, directly attacking my career and my integrity. I called Chloe and told her what happened. She was silent on the other end for a long time. Then she said, I understand. This time you stay out of it. I'm handling this. What are you going to do? I asked, worried. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Her voice was dangerously calm. You want to play dirty? Fine. I can play dirty too. Chloe's method of handling it was swift and brutal. She didn't confront Marcus. Instead, she spent a few days quietly gathering ammunition. Through friends in the industry, she got her hands on design specs from Marcus's firm that showed clear evidence of plagiarism. She compiled a complete file of every harassing text, email, and voicemail he'd ever sent her. And through a private investigator, she tracked down the person who had taken the photos of us and gotten a signed affidavit, complete with records of payment from Marcus. She didn't leak any of it to the press. Instead, she bundled everything together with a letter from her lawyer and sent it directly to Marcus's father, the chairman of the family's corporate empire. She sent a copy to his firm's primary investors. The message was simple and clear. If Marcus Vance ever bothered her or anyone she cared about again, she would release the entire package to the public and pursue full legal action for slander, harassment, and corporate espionage. It was a brilliant move, bypassing Marcus entirely and going straight for his foundation. 3 days after she sent the package, Marcus called her, practically screaming into the phone. "Chloe, you're ruthless." Her voice was ice. "Marcus, I'm just using the rules you taught me to protect myself and the people I love. If you think that's ruthless, so be it. I hope this is the end of it. But if you want to keep playing, I'm ready. Only next time, this file goes straight to every design blog and news outlet in the country." He was breathing heavily on the other end. After a long silence, he bit out, "Fine. You win. I'm done." After hanging up, Chloe let out a breath she seemed to have been holding for days. She came over and told me everything. I was stunned. I had no idea she was capable of being so strategic, so utterly devastating. "How did you think to go to his father?" She gave me a tired smile. "I did my research. His father cares more about the family name and the bottom line than he does about his son's ego. Marcus's company is propped up by family money and connections. I cut off his support system. It's more effective than fighting him directly." I looked at her, a mix of awe and heartache swirling inside me. I was so proud of her strength, but I hated that she had to be this strong on her own. "Next time," I said, taking her hand, "let me face it with you." She leaned against me. "Okay, to be honest, I was terrified. But when I thought about what he was doing to you, I just couldn't let it go." I held her tight, my heart overflowing. The trouble with Marcus Vance was over. At school, I had a frank conversation with my principal, explained the situation with the blackmail, and cleared the air. Life returned to normal. The whole ordeal, instead of driving us apart, had forged our bond even stronger. We had faced down a storm together, and it only confirmed what we already knew. We were right for each other. Fall faded into winter. Our relationship was solid, and talk of the future became more frequent. Our parents met and were thrilled. Lily, naturally, appointed herself the head of the wedding planning committee. One rainy Saturday afternoon, Chloe and I were curled up on my couch, watching a movie. The world outside was gray and wet, but inside, with the warm lamplight, it was perfect. Halfway through the film, Chloe hit pause. "Cole, let's get married." I blinked, turning to look at her. She was sitting cross-legged, her expression completely serious. This wasn't a joke. "Isn't that usually my line?" I asked, a little thrown. "Who made that rule?" she said with a raised eyebrow. "The timing feels right. I want to marry you." So I asked, "Well, what's your answer?" I couldn't help but laugh at her beautiful, matter-of-fact audacity. I leaned in and pressed my forehead against hers. "This is the least romantic proposal in history." "Who needs romance?" she scoffed. "Being happy together is what matters. All that other stuff is just a hassle." "Nope, not good enough." I sat up straight, my expression turning serious. "Chloe, wait right here." I got up and went into the bedroom, leaving her looking confused on the couch. A moment later, I came back out holding a small velvet box. I knelt down on one knee in front of her and opened it. Inside was a simple, elegant diamond ring. Chloe's hands flew to her mouth. "Chloe," I said, my voice steady, my eyes locked on hers. "I was planning to do this in a much better setting, with flowers and candles and all that. You kind of beat me to the punch. But that's okay. Some things still need to be done right." I took a deep breath. "I love you. Meeting you is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Will you marry me and let me take care of you for the rest of our lives?" Her eyes filled with tears. She looked from me to the ring and back again, nodding furiously. "Yes." I slid the ring onto her finger. It was a perfect fit. I stood up and pulled her into a tight embrace. She buried her face in my chest, her voice muffled. "When did you get the ring?" "A while ago," I said, kissing the top of her head. "I was just waiting for the right moment. Turns out you're a little more impatient than I am." She pulled back, her eyes still wet, but with a triumphant smile. "It just proves I'm more efficient." Yes, yes, Chloe Shun, the master of efficiency. We looked at each other and laughed, then settled back onto the couch and finished the movie, wrapped in each other's arms. Outside, the rain continued to fall, but inside, we had all the warmth we would ever need. The following spring, we got married. It was a small wedding on a sun-drenched lawn, surrounded by our closest family and friends. Lily was the maid of honor, of course, buzzing around more excitedly than anyone. She looked at her aunt, stunning in a white dress, then at me in my suit, and preened like she was the most successful matchmaker in history. During the ceremony, when the officiant asked me if I would take Chloe to be my wife, I looked at her and said, "I do." Then I paused and added with a smile, "And I'd like to thank my student, Lily Miller, for introducing me to her aunt." A wave of warm laughter spread through the crowd. Lily puffed out her chest with pride. When it was Chloe's turn, she took the microphone and looked at me. "Cole, I know I can be stubborn and difficult, and that I sometimes disappear into my work. Thank you for always being so patient and understanding. I promise to keep learning with you." She then turned to the guests, finding Lily's beaming face. "And thank you to our little matchmaker. Your methods were a bit chaotic, but I have to admit, the results were pretty good." More laughter. We exchanged rings. We kissed. The whole day was filled with a simple, profound joy. At the reception, Chloe and I made our way from table to table. When we got to the one with Lily and her friends, the atmosphere was electric. The kids demanded to hear the story of how we got together. Feeling expansive, I told them a condensed version, from Lily's sales pitch in my classroom to our awkward first meeting at the art museum. They were captivated. "Mr. Evans," Lily declared loudly, "I think you owe me a toast. To the matchmaker." I laughed and raised my glass. "All right, to our official matchmaker." The kids all cheered. Later, after the toasts, Chloe and I stepped away to a quiet terrace overlooking the grounds. The night air was cool and smelled of flowers. She leaned against me, watching the joyful chaos of the party. "This is so nice," she said softly. I wrapped my arms around her waist. "It is. Thank you," she said, "for not immediately shutting Lily down when she came to you with that crazy, ridiculous idea." I looked down at her. "And thank you for not dismissing me for being just a regular middle school teacher." Chloe smiled. "Regular? I think you're the best teacher in the whole world." We looked at each other, and in the soft glow of the party lights and the stars, we shared a gentle kiss. Our story started with a student's wild idea and, after a few bumps in the road, ended here. The future was a long, unwritten story, but we knew as long as we had each other, we could handle anything. End.